and Sons, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sean.
I imagine this morning is a very good morning, and there's a lot of relief in your family and in the company.
Oh, big time. You've no idea, Sean. It was just... I can't describe it in words what it feels like for everybody here today. It's unbelievable.
Now, this all follows on from... It's been a long process, obviously, but there was a judgment yesterday at Letterkenny Circuit Court.
Yeah.
And as a result of that judgment, your company, 13 Jobs, will survive.
Yes, that's correct.
So what led to this?
Oh, just like every other business this last few years, we were struggling and tried to keep going. Bad debt like every other company, and just it came to the stage just outside our own control. We knew something had to be done, that would restructure, so we contacted an independent accountant, Loughlin Associates in Wicklow, who specialise in restructuring, and he came in and had a talk to us and went through everything with us and suggested the examinership that would be prime candidates for it. Like I would say, a lot of businesses in Donegal and everywhere else, we knew nothing about it, and we discussed it with him, and he put in an application to the Circuit Court, and Mr. Sean Carr, then from Vision Accountants in Dublin, he was appointed our examiner, interim examiner first, and then full-time examiner.
So what happens to a company when it goes into examinership?
It's basically you enter in, and the court gives you protection for initially 70 days from your creditors or anybody taking a case against you that you would owe money to, or something like that there. And there's a lot of work. Like the examiner, when we met him first, said it wasn't for the faint heart, and that definitely is right. There is a lot of work. It's a very tough process, and without the management team that I have here in the office with me, Mark Farron and Elaine Scanlon, I wouldn't have been able to go through this. But Sean Carr, the examiner, and Stephen Loughlin were exceptional. They came in, they showed us like a map or a road map and took us step by step through it. But it was long, and the employees, I wouldn't have went through it without all them people, Sean. And then when you go into court, then you have your legal team as well, who's on your side. We had a barrister, Etna Reid Doherty, and our solicitor was Anya Clark from
Anya Murray, is it?
Anya Murray, sorry, from Gary Clark's office, and then the examiner has his barrister and solicitor there, and they're all there to help you. Ivan Toner would have been the examiner's solicitor, and Declan McHugh from Terence Sweeney's office was his solicitor.
So you have a lot of...
You have a lot of people, and they're all taking you along step by step.
So how bad did things get before you had to go into examinership?
It's just, it was very tough. You were constantly, as I say, firewalling all the time, and you were trying to get work done, and you were trying to keep suppliers happy. And
what do you do? Is it steel and roofing, is it?
Structural steel and cladding, yeah.
So given the downturn in the economy and the downturn in the construction industry, you lost out badly.
Yeah, exactly. Just like most other companies, we were not just isolated like that there, but since we went into examinership now, we have received a few contracts, and we have employed 3 additional employees since we went into examinership in the beginning of October, and it's looking very good for January and February at the minute as we are. And hopefully there's a lot of more work to be done, just because we're at the examinership now, we have a fresh start, and a lot of companies out there does not realise that this process is there. Anybody that gets into trouble should consider examinership and talk to people about it.
Because normally this would go to the High Court, would it?
Up until this year, anybody going into examinership had to go through the High Court, but then the government changed that because naturally enough it's a fairly expensive procedure to go into the High Courts, and they changed that companies could actually go in through the Circuit Courts, and we were the first in Donegal, fortunately and unfortunately, to enter and successfully exit it. We're one of the first in Ireland to go in through the Circuit Courts. And as well, when you get into it and you go through tough times, the amount of support that we've got from our suppliers and our customers and the stakeholders and the community even at large, even our opposition rang here, and anything they could do, just overwhelmed. They would leave you just completely in tears. The amount of support that we've got through this has been unbelievable. And thank God there's a light now at the end of the tunnel, and come back in January and refocus and open for business and get on with it.
Because things, I mean, we hear are improving in the economy and hopefully in construction too.
They are, things are picking up. Dublin now, would be fairly busy compared to it was. It is drifting up as far as Donegal now. We actually, during examinership, we done 2 jobs in Dublin. And, it is picking up, definitely.
And you're actually looking to launch 2 new lines as well, are you?
Yeah, we started doing fire grates. We would have done an odd one, but now it has really taken off. And we're doing fire grates and stove plates and place for ordinary ranges and all that there. People normally just take in the sample to us, and we would just make it that day for them and have it back again, and we're getting a lot of business through that now this last 2 months.
And I mean, when an examiner comes in, do they show you the pathway? Do they show you how to run the show?
They come in and while you're in examinership, you still trade through it. You don't close down. The examiner is there and he examines everything, and basically he's not in control. We are still in control of the business, but he's there. And any decisions and that, you would put it through him, and he comes every so often into the company and sits and shows us, and he helps us way. We done out a new structure plan for the company. You have to have a restructuring plan and to show this to the courts and all that, and he goes through all that with us, and we sit down in a lot of meetings, a lot of early mornings, a lot of late nights. And it's a wake-up call, because when you're in a situation, you don't actually see what is going on until somebody fresh comes in and they can see it right away. They observe you and suss it out, and then you sit down with them, and it's all practicalities, and you go through the whole process with them.
Yeah, and in terms of debt and everything, what happens to your debt and people that you owe money to if you're in such a difficulty in the first place?
Well, there's the examiner. He does a scheme of arrangement, and he sits down and does a scheme of arrangement with all our creditors and that situation.
So he deals with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. How much difference does that make?
It's still, you're still worried about it and all that there, but it makes a difference that he can talk to them and sort it out with them.
So what does this mean now in terms of securing those jobs?
Securing the jobs, basically, it's like a fresh company, and we're open for business and restructured and a stronger company because of the process that we've went through.
Okay, well, Elizabeth, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Okay, Sean, thanks very much.
That's the director of Henry McGinley and Sons, Elizabeth McGinley, talking to us about yesterday's decision that has led to the securing of those jobs with the company Henry McGinley and Sons coming out of examinership yesterday. We'll be back after these.
The new 2015